Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to this. Um, I call this meeting because we'll share about our faith and our relationship with God, and also our um, story about vocation, where we feel God calls us. So here today is with me, Brother Zep Pioquinto. As you all know,
Ah,
he is in East Timor for 3 years,
three
three
years.
years, and he works in the school, Santo Ignacio de Loyola, as well as my director in the candidate house. So I'm happy to meet him again. Good afternoon, Brother Jeff.
Good afternoon,
Afternoon.
Ross.
Um, how is your life as a Jesuit?
How is my life as a Jesuit? That's a good question. I'm going to ask your permission. Tamba, how usa lian Ingles? Tamba how niya tetun ladun diak na fatin. So, how's my life as a Jesuit? So, my Jesuit life now is really very consoling. And after working in Timor for 3 years, which is very far, and the language is foreign, the culture is foreign, the people are foreign, now I'm being sent back to Zamboanga City, where my hometown is. That's my hometown. So something that's very familiar to me. I speak the language, my first language, and the people are very familiar. My families are from Zamboanga, and now I'm the senior high. It's like the SMA in East Timor, principal or headmaster or director. So I enjoy being in the school with the students as well in Zamboanga City. My community, they are really very, very consoling because most of the members in our community are my batchmates in the novitiate. So if you're in the novitiate or in the seminary, so in the Philippines, we play a lot, we banter a lot, we tease a lot. So it's like we're just playing inside the community. So that makes a little bit special my community in Zamboanga City. So in general, my life as a Jesuit is very consoling because of the community, because of the people I serve, and then the place is very familiar, and I'm being assigned also in school, which is really my first love. I love being in the schools teaching.
It has been a long year since 2017, 18,
18, yeah,
yeah,
2018.
18 in East Timor. I also experienced with him, as he mentioned, he's very alive Jesuit. I can notice from him. So he always encourages us to be happy Jesuit, but at the same time to be faithful as a Jesuit to the mission. That's why he always
True.
encourages us to be on time, always encourages us to speak more and more English. Of course, in Timor, sometimes we're afraid to approach him, but because of him, we can speak English. As now, I'm speak English to you. So
So
I'm
you learn
happy.
how to speak English. I did not learn how to speak Latin.
That's the problem. But at least now here is the fruit of Brother Zeb. I'm
Yes.
happy to meet him again. So one thing I noticed from him is the if you want to be a Jesuit, learn how to be happy Jesuit and consoling Jesuit as
True.
living is in the community. That's what makes us really a Jesuit. If you want to be a Jesuit, learn from him to be happy as a
I
Jesuit.
hope so.
So the second question is
Yeah.
um are you happy to be a Jesuit?
Are you happy to be a Jesuit? Again, I guess I'm scared with the questions already. I may say in general that I'm really very, very happy. You're taking philosophy classes. We all know that there are ranges of happiness. When I was a child, I thought happiness is to have the things in the world. Because my family, I came from very poor family. So when I see my classmate, they have these things, they have this beautiful house, they have money to spare. I thought that happiness is about owning things. But when I was already in SMP, I realized that to be happy is to have a relationship. Because that's the time you enter into relationship, you try to look for somebody to whom you can get close to. So I thought having somebody in a relationship is what makes me happy. But as I grow older, what makes me happy generally not of material things, not of relationship either. Although important for us
Mm-mm.
Jesuit to have a good relationship with people, it's not about recognition, because as you all know, in the Philippines, if you are a Jesuit, people look up to you, and it's not about recognition. It's about the pride or the name itself. But what makes me truly happy is having relationship with my God. Like for example, being in Timor is a happy things for me. But as you all know, I guess you experience being here in the Philippines, there are times that you feel lonely because your family is very far, your friends are very far, and everything is foreign to you. And I admit, when I was in Timor, I really felt lonely. Because I always tell them that I always love eating. When I feel lonely, I eat, and of course, and what makes me happy then is really prayer, and of course the people, the students, the people, you, the candidates, and you make me happy. So I sense that as we all grow older, the sense and idea of and the meaning of happiness changes. And for now, I can say that my happiness is being faithful to my God, being faithful to my vocation, and to appreciate the people around you.
So, one thing I really like is you mentioned about happiness is not about something that
Yes.
you have
Mm,
like material things,
yeah.
but happiness is really about the relationship, no,
Mm,
with
true.
God, a relationship in the community. I think that's the true happiness. No, if we want to really be happy, so try to be happy as much as possible with people we live with and our relationship with God. So I
Yeah.
think this is really good message for me
Yeah.
and for us that to be happy is not about having a lot of material things,
Yeah.
but it's simply having a relationship with God and the
True.
people we live with. So thank you very much for
I
this
totally agree.
message. Yeah, at least we agree. Yeah?
Of course,
I
that's
think
really important.
I'm afraid that my English it will not it's not good.
No, you're doing well.
Okay. Um, the last question is, brother.
Mm,
How is your relationship with God since you have been a Jesuit for a long time
mm,
and work in the school, serving in the many different areas.
yeah.
So how is your relationship with God?
Okay, so this is my 23rd, I guess, year as a Jesuit, and I always say that I'm not for priesthood,
Mm-mm.
and I'm for brotherhood. I'll be brother forever. That's my vocation, and my relationship with my God is something that is really something that is real. Because as we all know, when we are young, we do attend catechism, we learn things in the school, but everything is on the head, diba? And then when I was already a teenager and in college, God is becoming something that is already real through the people, through my mother, through my father, through my friends, through my relatives, and to those significant others. Significant others are those people that we considered important in our lives. So God is very abstract. We don't see God walking on the street, and we don't see God listening to you. But as you grow older, as you mature, we find God in other people. We find God in the people that we serve, in our friends, in our significant others. And for me, that makes a thing that is really very, very, very real for me. Like for example, I always tell this story when I was assigned in one place in uh, where do you call that? Your
Patubisi Lolo?
place?
Ponila.
Patubesilog in Ponilala, and the whole place you call that Ermera.
Ermera.
I was asked to stay in Ermera for me to learn Tetun. And it was rather very difficult for me because I cannot speak Tetun. And most people there, they speak Mambay, another language. So it was really very difficult for me to communicate with people. But I've seen the generosity of the
Mm-mm.
people. They are not really well off, but they try to provide and give me food the best that they could. And the way they entertain and talk to me, even my Tetun was really terribly bad. But they were there, always listening to me, taking care of me. And even in the feeling of isolation and loneliness, during that time, I felt closer to my God with the people that I met in East Timor. And that makes my God really real. It's only when we feel love that we can actually feel the love of God. So I always tell this to my students. It's difficult for us to really have relationship with our God because God is somehow, in a way, abstract. But then, if we are immersed into the world, into the relationship that you said, when we feel love from other people, that's the time that God becomes real. That's why, uh, how can we also bring people closer to God as a Jesuit? We have to make them feel that God is real for them through our relationship, through our compassion, through our, in a way, love for the people that we love.
Once again, thank you. I think I forgot to mention about in the Society of Jesus, we have Jesuit as a brotherhood and Jesuit
Yes.
as a priesthood. But as we all know, we serve the same mission as Brother Zeph. He's a Jesuit brother,
Yeah.
but he, as a principal, in my goodness, as a principal of the school, so you serve the same mission. So if you
True.
want to be a Jesuit, you can choose
Priesthood, brotherhood.
brotherhood.
And in
It
Timor, I just remember in Timor, we have Brother Ta.
Brother Ta. So we
He's
serve the
also a
same
brother
mission.
from
Yeah,
Vietnam.
we serve the same mission. So for us, we are happy to be a Jesuit that is really give our life to mission. As brothers mentioned about God, of course, sometimes God is really abstract. But as we go through our mission, God is real to the people where we meet. No,
True.
in our works, in the people whom we love. So for us, like God, we find everywhere. That's why Saint Ignatius always mentioned finding God
In
in
all
on
things.
all things. So thank you very much, brother, for
Thank you, Tosilo.
define God. It's
Yes.
for me it's a personal relationship with God. So that's what he experienced with God. So that's real. His real God. And now the last question is, brother. What is your message to people, to young men and women to live their faith, um, and also consider to religious life.
To religious
Yeah.
life. It's okay. First, I would like to greet my former students in Colegio Santo Ignacio de Loyola. I guess the pioneer and the second batch, they were my students in English then. And of course, to the candidates, the former candidates in Casa Gonzaga, and of course, the Magis group to whom I love so much. So, shout out to you. And for your question, what's my message to young people? First, do not be afraid to commit. Do not be afraid to commit your life to God. Okay. There may be challenges along the way, but then with God's grace, everything is well. Everything's going to be well. And I always carry this notion. I guess I learned this from Amu Bert, who used to be the director of Colegio Santo Ignacio. When I was in Timor and when I was in Cebu and in Davao and also in Ireland for tertianship, I remember Amu Bert mentioned, bloom where you are planted. I'm not sure it's Amu Bert or Amu EJ, but he said that just bloom where you are planted. Wherever God will throw you to a situation, to a place, to a relationship, to a commitment, for merit life, for religious life, wherever God is leading you, bloom and grow wherever you are planted.
Thank you very much. I think that's a good message for all of us as a Jesuit, and also for those who are considering that religious life, that is, do not be afraid. As you have seen, he's already been a Jesuit for 24 years.
Yes.
He's not
How to one
afraid.
ona.
Niya tuwan ona, but he's not afraid niya latawg. Bawi na fatin. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the good message for us. Do not be afraid
Do not be afraid.
because our God is a God of love. Our God is always accompany us everywhere and anytime, any moment. God is always with us. So thank you very much
Obrigado,
for
Barak.
this. Thank you very much, brother Zeph.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.